Do you think sports car collecting is only for people that have deep pockets or have a lot of money? I don't think so. I'm about to show you just how to build your killer collection, even if you have zero money to spend. And the first thing that I wrote down to help you guys out to build your collection, even if you have little to no money at all, is why this is a brilliant idea. Now, why is it a brilliant idea to collect sports cards in the first place, right? Why do you want to do this? There's so many avenues to do. You can do collecting of rockets, you can build rockets, you can do other hobby things. So why are you here watching this video? Why are you watching this video to understand how to collect sports cards? And why is it that why is this a brilliant idea to start this even if you don't have any money? So the first thing I wrote down is just nostalgia and passion. I mean, I wrote that down first because that's probably the most important part about collecting is nostalgia. Now, if you're like a first-time collector and you're just starting out now, obviously you're not going to have any nostalgia, right? But you're building that. You don't realize it when you're doing it, right? I tell my students all the time, you don't realize how smart you're getting as you progress and learn about all the stuff we've been talking about in class. By the end of the year, I ask them questions. They're like, oh, yeah, I know that. I know this. I know that. And I'm saying before the year, you had no idea about any of this stuff, right? So it's the same thing with sports cards. It's like, you're building nostalgia. You're building all this stuff. So when you get another 20 years older, or even 10 years older, or if you have kids, or if they have kids and you're a grandpop or grandmom or whatever that could be, right? You're building all this stuff that's nostalgia, and it's making it more than a hobby, right? It's making it more of like a community, and you're building all these aspects with this stuff. And it's like, you want to do things that you like in life, and you want to go towards things that you like in life. And this hobby is one of them. I mean, it's out there for you, and it's very easy to get started, even if you have really no money to start. You got to connect this to games. Like when I first started playing games, and then the original Nintendo came out, and then the Super NES, and then the GameCube, and Genesis, and PlayStation, and Xbox, and went through all those years of that stuff, and from the late '80s to like till now. And we connect to people that talk online. We play with people online that we never necessarily would ever even interact with before in our life, and now they're one of our great friends. And it's the same thing that's happening here. When you're doing your nostalgia, when you're going towards your passion, it's more than a hobby, right? Like I said before, you're connecting games, you're connecting childhood memories. Maybe you took a hiatus and you were like 10 years old, 12 years old, and then high school started, 13, 14, high school started, and now you start getting into playing sports or your studies and things like that, and you lost the oomph, I guess, to go after sports cards. And then 25 years later, like me, you're back into it, and now you're like, oh man, remember I used to collect that Wayne Gretzky card, or that Bo Jackson card, or the Michael Jordan card, and Pavel Bure, whatever it was, right? Hextall. And now I remember trying to go after those cards and show my friends when I got it. And now it's like, oh man, remember that? That was so much fun. Let me do it again. And I'll do it with my kids or my grandkids or my cousins or whoever that could be. And that's very important. And you're at the same time, you're building community. You're building a community, and the community here in the sports cards is very welcoming. If you go back to all the videos that we've been doing over the last like years, right? I know we've been around years, but all those videos, if you go through all the comments, some have 120 comments, some have 200 comments, and they're all comments like helping each other out, and like, okay, I did this, did that. Don't do this, don't do that. Don't be like me. And how did I get better? And like 99% of comments are like awesome, and they help each other out. That's what we're here for. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not the smartest collector in the world. Obviously, I'm not even close to that, right? But I'm hopefully here to help you guys out and to build that community where you can interact in the comments and talk back and forth with each other, because there's not many things on YouTube that do that. And I wanted to bring that to, our social media aspect, just because I found that was missing in social media. And that's what I really wanted to kind of gear this channel towards, is, community and helping everybody out. So that's very important. That's very important to me, near and dear to the heart, to start that. If you look at why it's a brilliant idea, you have community, you have nostalgia, passion, right? You have a very, very low risk entry point. If I'm getting into another hobby and I'm trying to build a rocket, that's a hobby, right? I got to go to Hobby Lobby. I got to go to Apogee Components. I got to, spend $30 on an engine. I have to spend all this stuff on fiberglass tubes or cardboard tubes, or I have to get a 3D printer to 3D print my, So I'm already in it before I even made the rocket. I'm already in it, $1,000, obviously I do rockets in school, right? So it's a very expensive hobby, flying airplanes. They go around our area and they fly these little mini airplanes that are about as big as a car. And that's a very expensive hobby, a very time consuming hobby, right? Sports cards is not really like that. Like you can get into sports cards, and I can go to like on eBay and spend $100 and get all 100 great cards and cards that maybe the people that I actually want. And it's not that expensive. And you might get expensive down the road when you start buying blaster boxes or hobby boxes or chasing big cards, obviously, right? But you can make it to what you want to spend, which is very easy. Like if I want to make a rocket, and I'm trying to make a rocket to where I'm going to try to make a cheap rocket, I'm still spending hundreds of dollars just on that and flying it one time. So, I mean, it's a very expensive hobby. It's a larger hobby. It has more community aspect, like I said before. It's low risk, like a entry point, and you're building something meaningful that might mean something to you, and looking back on the nostalgia aspect, that might mean something to you as well. So I mean, it's very important that it's a brilliant idea to get started, nostalgia, passion, community building. You have low risk entry point. So if you're watching this video and you're like, I don't know whether I should get started or not, you could get started for very, very reasonable. Go on eBay and like, if I want to get all Bryce Harper cards, I can spend $50 on Bryce Harper cards, and I can get 40 or 50 cards that are all parallels or inserts. So it's very important. Now, if you don't really know what a parallel insert is, then we got to kind of research that a little bit too. But budget-friendly tips, the second thing that I wrote down. Okay, what are some things that is budget-friendly that can save you some money? Now, hunting for deals is the first thing I wrote down, because hunting for deals is very important because there's deals to be made all over the place. You can go to flea markets. You can go to thrift shops. You can trade stuff from your house and get cards. You can go to garage sales. We always have a big yard sale in our town every year in September. And we always have baseball tournaments. We can never do it. But sometimes we go around, you can find people that have like these big boxes of cards and like, I don't want to get rid of it. I'm out of the hobby. My kid's grown up and it's just sitting there. So I'll give it to you for $50. You might have 1,000 cards in there. And that's like, even though they might be base cards and some inserts, some parallels, you go through it, whatever it is, right? But it's a good entry point. And that's really literally no money. You can, they might be, at the end of the day, you might be able to walk around there and be like, I got this whole shoebox full of cards and I want to get rid of it. Just take it. And boom, now you got something for no money. So, I mean, going back to our title is like, how can we find things? Why is it important to starting this thing? It's a brilliant idea and you can get it definitely without even spending any money or even doing some trades and things like that. So like flea markets, or even we usually go up to upstate New York, which is pretty far away from us, right? But we go to upstate New York and they have this big town-wide yard sale. It's the biggest one in the entire nation. And, they have sports card vendors there. You walk through. It's a pretty cool thing. We went there last year. They had some, people that had selling cards and stuff like that. And you can make deals and you can, don't have to spend an arm and a leg, for these things. So, why it's a brilliant idea. You can get in there for relatively cheap and compared to other hobbies in the world now. Second thing, budget-friendly tips. Dollar bin gems. You go to a local card shop. Hopefully, you have a local card shop around you. Around here, we got about 20 miles to local card shops. So it's very, very, farther away from for local card shops. And, sometimes local card shops have deals. They don't have deals. Sometimes they have dollar bins. Don't have dollar bins. We went down to Disney, a few years ago, and there was a local card shop around Disney. And man, their store was awesome because they have drawers of like 1988 tops, 1989 tops. You can go in there and buy $1 here, $1 there, $1 there. And you can spend $30, $40 and get a lot of cards, and they have mystery packs. So you can do that too. I would kind of stay with mystery packs, but you can find a pretty $10. So you can find, 100 cards for $10. So it's not really an expensive way to get into things. Dollar bin gems, you can get rookies, you can get parallels, you can get base cards if you wanted to. You can really get some rookie cards. You can really get parallels, inserts, and for dollars and whatever. So you can make deals. So it's a very cool thing to do. Definitely go to local card shops, local card shows, flea markets. You can always wheel and deal there. It takes some time, Takes some effort, but in the end of the day, you can save a lot of money. Trading with friends. My son does it all the time, and I used to do it all the time when I was a kid. Bringing some cards in school, and then you come back with like 30 cards because they wanted. I got this one CJ Stroud base card, whatever it was, and they're going to give you 30 cards for that. You got Bryce Harper's, you got Otani's, whatever it is, right? And they wanted that one card. So I mean, trading with friends is a good thing to do, and you ain't got to spend any money. You have old cards lying around. You can find old cards. You can use them to trade if they're pretty decent shape. So it's a very important thing, trading with friends. Free giveaways. Nowadays, like we used to get into NFTs a lot, a couple of years ago, and they always had free giveaways, and we want some free giveaways too, right? But Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is, there are free giveaways happening all the time. You follow all these local card shops, people that are selling cards or breakers, whatever it is, they have an excess amount of cards, right? Because they're opening so many different things. You can get in there, check social media, check local card shop. You can get in there and you can find pretty good deals and find some local giveaways and free giveaways. You might be able to find a whole entire blaster box for free. You might be able to get picked. So the more that you sign up for that, I would just go through YouTube or not YouTube, but sometimes YouTube. But I would go through like Instagram, TikTok, when they're giving away these free giveaways, X sometimes, and you can sign up, and it doesn't really cost you anything to sign up. You just like it. You might subscribe to them, and then maybe you put your friends in the comments. There's nothing really hurting anything, and maybe you get a free card here or there, or free a free graded card. So it'd be cool for your collection. That's it's free. Maybe just pay for the shipping, whatever that could be. So I mean, that has been done a lot of times. So go through there and look out for these things, and they give away a lot of free giveaways a lot. So how did I do it? Like, what did I do? And how did I get here today? Because you don't really see me opening cards a lot on YouTube, but on our TikTok page and our Instagram page, we're opening cards every day. We do like a pack a day challenge. We're trying to find a one-on-one versus trying to get to 10,000 subs on YouTube. So again, if you're watching this video, give us a subscribe, right? But anyway, how did I do it? My story. I mean, I first started collecting when I was a kid. I didn't have a lot of money. I wasn't really asking mom or dad to go out and give me a back here, right? I would get like a pack here. Like we would play paintball a lot, and then the paintball store also had cards, and we would get in there and get a pack of cards for a couple of dollars. I was really into NHL. As I got older in high school, I was really into like auto racing, like Dale Earnhardt. Tried to get a lot of his cards, but we went to the races and got cards there. We had some money, had to shell out some money, but I was, I didn't really spend a lot of money to get stuff. Obviously, it was a lot less money, 30 years ago or 20 years ago when I was collecting really into it. But you can find something that you're proud of. And that's the whole important thing to do is like find something you're proud of and go after singles. There wasn't eBay, things like that. There were single bins in like the local card shops, but around where I lived, there wasn't a lot of local card shops. So it was hard to find things. So I would just go after packs. I really went after like sticker books, and I know they're not of value now at all, but I was in like the NHL 1990-91 sticker books. I was into some baseball sticker books where you like open packs up, but they're stickers, then you find it on the actual sticker book and then do that. So I actually ordered one online, an old one, because I wanted my kids to experience that. So I got like a 1990, I think. I had Wayne Gretzky on the cover, and I ordered a couple packs so they can kind of figure out, like they can see how that was when I was a kid. So that was I always liked doing that and like doing the sticker books, at least more than collecting cards. That was just my thing. But I mean, you can have collecting cards too, and that's how I did it. And now, 30 years later, now I usually get singles. I mostly 95% of the time I go after singles, but we do buy an occasional blaster box here and there just to do our pack a day challenge. I try not to spend a lot of money going through the hobby because it's kind of really expensive now. If I'm trying to spend $30 on a blaster box, it gets really expensive. So I try to kind of stay on budget and go here and go there and get some things, but try to get some singles, more singles on eBay. It's not as fun, but I try to get maybe like we get a lot of the Topps holiday Christmas ball tin things, and they're like $15. So we might get 2 or 3 of them if they're on the shelves. And then that's like a pack that we can open. My daughter loves opening that. I'm looking for like the Santa cards or the elves or like the candy cane bat, stuff like that. So I mean, that's how kind of I did it and I do now. I really concentrate on singles now though, because it's very important. It's a lot cheaper. But so going back, it's a brilliant idea. So what is motivation to start? So what is going to be some motivation for you to start collecting, in the sports car field? Because it's kind of overwhelming now because there's so many different, so many different brands, so many different parallels, inserts, whatever that could be. So like the beauty of this, the beauty of sports car collecting is that anyone can do it. Whether you're reliving childhood memories, whether you are chasing the thrill of finding like hidden gems, whether you are, it's a journey. It's a journey worth starting because you're having that community. You're going back and forth with people that you never necessarily would ever talk to, and now you're best friends with them, and you're always going to the local card shop, talking to people that work there, or people that are actually there, and like, oh look, I found this and did that, right? And that's the community aspect. That's the most important part of all this thing is the community aspect. You can find cards all you want. You can buy cards all you want. You can go after these hype cards all you want. But the community is like the most important part for us here at Sports Card Hustlers because like as you see, like we have been doing videos for the last really doing videos for the last 6 months, and the comments are great. And we talk to people, you guys all the time about what you have, how you have started, what did you do, like what cards are you getting, what are you going after, where are you finding these cards, all that stuff. So I mean, if you do budget, start with singles. Maybe get a blaster or a mega or a fat pack, here or there, and they are expensive, but you can kind of do that if you budget the correct way. You can do this for relatively no money. Not buying a blaster, obviously, but sometimes you can get it, and trade things and stuff like that. So my question to you is like, what was the first thing? I guess you could say, what is the first, and would you like add to your collection if you're starting all over? What's the first thing you would add to your collection or do if you had to go like from scratch? I always tell my kids if like what are you doing if somebody come over and erase your entire game? Are you doing it over again? Are you doing it differently over again? If that entire like Elder Scrolls Skyrim got deleted and you're doing it all over again, or Legend of Zelda got deleted and have to do it all over again, are you doing the same process? Are you changing it around? So how are you if you had to wipe your entire collection, or if your entire collection God forbid got wiped, right? How would you start it over again? What would you do? Would you go after singles? Would you do a blaster here or there? What would you kind of go after? What are some brands you would go after? So like, let us know in the comments what you guys think, because that's what we're here for. We're going to talk to you guys about it. If you had zero money, if you had no money, what do you do to save money in the hobby field? Because obviously I'm one person and you guys are thousands. So like the more that we interact, the more it's going to, have that new collector help them out and save them a lot of money in the end. And maybe they won't make the same mistakes as we did when we were kids, or as we did last week, as we go. So, I mean, we appreciate you guys watching all the time. Again, we're doing that Insider Club. If you're still around after 18 minutes of this video, we're still doing the Insider Club. So if you sign up with your email and you comment Insider in the comments, we'll send you a link, sign up with your email. And then when that happens, we'll get you like bi-monthly, we'll send out an Insider email that says that shows you where all the release dates are, when they are, when is like Target restocking, when is Walmart restocking, what are those usual dates, and we'll keep that up to date because it's so hard to find things now that it will really help you out, especially if you're a new collector and trying to get into the hobby. But if you ever have any questions, let us know. If you don't know what an insert or a parallel is, definitely check that out. I'm going to make a video on that in the future so you guys at least know the differences. It's going to be in our next video. So keep on watching and subscribe if you're just getting this for the first time, and look at all our old videos because there's a bunch out there that we kind of been doing, and we really appreciate it. So if you ever have any questions, let us know and make sure you comment. Talk to you guys later. Appreciate you guys watching. Later.